Hello and welcome to the Complete Lakers podcast. I'm Anthony Wilson, recording from Los Angeles, California. Joining me are my two prestigious co-hosts, Jason Big Mitch Mitchell and David Galvez. How you guys doing?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Right. Um. So the Lakers obviously were swept. The series concluded on Monday night. OKC broke out the brooms and finished the Lakers off in 4 games. Um, Big Mitch, his prediction of Lakers in 7 did not come to fruition. Uh, this was after his first round prediction of Lakers in 6 over the Rockets uh, did famously come true. So he's 1-1 this postseason on series predictions. But Mitch, as the dust settles on the end of the season, and we look forward to an off season that we have several free agents, most notably LeBron and Austin Reaves. If you'd like to just reflect on the OKC series and then look ahead to this offseason, who you'd like to see the Lakers retain and maybe not retain, the floor is yours.
Yeah. My prediction really hinged on one, JJ having a plan, also, kind of Luca's health, maybe needing a miracle. According to Shams, this was around the kind of time that, we were looking that he would, kind of come back. Obviously, post game Luca obviously refuted that, but my prediction was, kind of based off of Shams kind of timeline and JJ kind of having a plan for the series. Um, you know, and I thought JJ had a great plan. Maybe just I wouldn't say poor execution, just kind of lapses in execution at times. The first 2 games kind of went as I predicted. I figured we would probably lose the first 2 games, but I like the game plan. That's the kind of game plan that you want to have. Game plan was to send the hard double towards SGA, get the ball out of his hands, keep the ball out of his hands. Game one, he had 7 turnovers, um, only 18 points. Game two, he only had 22 points. Um, you know, Game two, he was also, in foul trouble for most of the game as well. It's just, the others beat us in game one and two. So kind of reflecting after game one and two, I'm like, okay, now that we've seen that, okay, the others can beat us, uh, you know, you feel like we gotta, it's time to kind of switch the strategy. Maybe let SJ go off a little bit more. That way he's not getting his teammates involved because it just seems like, when we were getting the ball out of his hands, they were able to get it to their shooters and it just really felt like their shooters weren't missing. Um, Game three, JJ adjusted. It was more, SGA, doing his thing, a little bit less doubles. Um, but that doggone AJ Mitchell, all series. I mean, he really did his thing. Um, Jared McCain, I think at one point he was shooting like 82% from three, which I mean, ridiculous. Um, I thought Chet played very well for them as well. I thought our squad played well for, especially in game one and two. They played well for like pretty much 3.5 quarters. You know what I mean? It was like I feel like even though it was a sweep, it was closer than the series end, and the final scores would lead you to believe, right? Um, so it's just that's what I'm saying. Like, right? We played well for 2.5 quarters for most of these games. Uh, Obviously the last game being the closest. Which, funny enough, SJ had a negative plus minus in the last game, and he had 30. That's the game he went off. He had 35, but he was a -7, which in the for plus minus, which is I don't know. I don't know. Is that do we take plus minus into consideration on that one? Because it was the closest game, turns out. But anyway, um, yeah, we just had minor lapses, right? Just minor lapses where we just didn't do the basic things. We didn't stop the ball in transition a couple times. We didn't close out on shooters a couple times. So that led to layups, led to three pointers, um, live ball turnovers, leading to points off of turnovers. We didn't box out, which led to them getting offensive rebounds. They had a lot of second chance points. And more importantly, they had timely second chance points, which when you're playing a team as good and as deep and as locked in as the Thunder are in this moment, you can't have those kinds of lapses. And obviously, it came back to bite the Lakers. Um, but all in all, I thought overall the team as a whole played hard and they played good. Like I said, just kind of lapses in the game plan, in focus, really. As far as the offseason goes, I think you know the biggest domino is LeBron. Um, will he retire? Will he stay? You know, I think a lot kind of hinges on that. He ties up a lot of money. I like LeBron, more than the next Kobe Stan. You know what I mean? But at this point, money wise, with him now being, pretty much the third option behind Luca and Austin, in order to come back, I feel like he would have to take a pay cut because, you know, I mean, it's either, do you want to have your money or do you want a team that's going to contend? So yeah, if he's going to come back, he would have to take a pay cut because, there's definitely players that we need to pay. I just saw the list. I know Jackson Hayes and Rui are both unrestricted free agents. I believe Marcus Smart, Aiden, and Austin all have player options. If LeBron comes back, I feel maybe Austin will just kind of opt in, play out the contract, and then maybe it'll work out that LeBron will just retire after next year, and then we can throw the bag at Austin. Um, but we got to pay Rui. I think Rui needs to stay. I mean, Rui had a generational run this playoffs. Um, the highest. He has the highest 3-point playoff percentage of all time right now, minimum 100 attempts. Like, that's crazy. Generational run for Rui, so Rui needs to stay. Jackson Hayes, I would love to have him back. I love his energy and effort. He's still a young-ish player, so in the off season, I just want him to work on rebounding, like following the flight of the ball, boxing out, all that stuff. He needs to come back. Obviously, Austin needs to come back. At whatever cost. Um, LeBron at the right cost. Um, Aiden dominating, quote unquote dominating. He needs to start learning Chinese. Um, it just it's not gonna work. It's just the inconsistent effort is not gonna work in Lakerland. Luke Kennard needs to come back. I would love to see him come back. Mark Smart, I would love to see come back as well. Um, Lake Show Yo said that Luca told ownership that he wants Austin to stay at all costs. So, if Luca's telling you that's what he wants, you got to give Luke what he wants. He is our cornerstone player now. So, it's gonna be an interesting offseason. We need to make some moves. Hopefully find a starting center if DeAndre Ayton opts out of his deal.
All right. Uh, Galvez. I mean, how do you feel? You spoke last week about Austin Reaves already, but we'll get to that in a second. But first of all, just the officially being swept, as I said. Like,
Yeah.
how does it make you feel?
Well, let me ask you this, both of you guys. Without overthinking it, who's the greatest coach? And I asked Wilson this, so I asked Mitch. Who's the greatest coach in the history of the NBA?
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson would have got swept. So what that tells you is that OKC, especially without Luca, they were just never gonna win. Probably even with Luca, they were probably not gonna win. Um, and the only, like I said, the only thing we could ask for is that they would play hard. And even though the first few games we lost by 18 and
18.
20, and then I think game three is like almost 30. It was a lot closer than it felt. We literally just ran out of gas. Our best player was a 41-year-old, and you could tell by the fourth quarter, LeBron just had nothing left in the tank. He was just done. And but the fact that that's almost like I didn't want to be cheesy, but probably even more so than the bubble team, I was damn proud of this team. The way they fought, the way they just played hard, man. Not once did they feel, you know, like they were out of it. For them to, you know, they tried their goddamn best to to play one more game, maybe not get eliminated at home. Um, it's just, it sucks because we've been doing this show for a few years, and I think we like, we always said, right, when they went back to back against Denver, we're like, the only team that can beat us is Denver. We got smoked by Denver. And this year, we're like, the only team that could really truly beat us is OKC, and we got smoked by OKC. So at some point, is it all right? Are we just being, just unrealistic with the Lakers, or are they really that good? Um, but the only thing that I think JJ Redick messed up with, and the crew pointed out, Rui wasn't on the final possession, but Cleaver was, which was just stupid. I don't know if he explained why he was on the bench, but you know, like Mitch said, with LeBron, um, he's probably the most uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Not controversial. He's definitely what's that word?
Polarizing.
Polarizing?
Exactly, the most polarizing player since in LA for the last few years, right? But if you think
LeBron and
about it,
John Cena.
yeah. But if you really think about it, who was on the court in the playoffs, giving it his all, right? Um, he was probably the healthiest player on the team. And our 1-2 punch, who are in the prime of their careers, where were they at when the playoffs started? They were on the bench because they were injured. And so I would love to see LeBron come back because you know what? LeBron, say what you will, but he was a damn soldier this year. When the Lakers were at their best in late February, early March, it seemed like LeBron took that third option and just ran with it. He didn't bitch about it. He didn't throw no subtle quotes or no indirects. And we even said, yo, if LeBron could really embrace this third option, we're good, you know? And if, now obviously, he's going to lose a step. It's just human nature. But if he's even 80% of what he gave us this year, I'll take LeBron back in a heartbeat. The key is, a discount. How much is he willing to give on a discount? Um, but
Okay.
it's just it's just what we were never gonna win, to be honest.
Um, how do you guys feel about Ric Flair calling out Luca and saying that he should have taken an injection and gotten out there and giving it a shot?
Uh, I think the old man's talking out of his ass, to be honest. But yeah,
Yeah.
I even hopped in Rick's comment section just because I'm just like Rick. Man, nobody saw this heel turn coming because it's
Yeah.
just Luca's not one of those. You know, Luca is young, but he's not one of these young dudes nowadays. You know what I mean? Like Luca has like an old school mentality that like if he could play, if there was any way he could be on that court, he would be. I don't have any doubts about that. So Ric Flair coming at him like that, out of bounds. Like I said, the most unexpected heel turn of the NBA postseason.
Okay.
It's coming soon. It's going to be a tag team match. Luca and LeBron versus Dylan Brooks and
Mm,
Ric Flair. WWE, Triple H. Let's set it
yeah.
up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys this. What like going back to like real stuff. You know Austin Reeves is gonna command the 5 year 40 mil
Exactly.
a
Yeah,
year. Are we okay with giving him that?
have to be. What's
So,
the what's the let's play it out though, right? Like, what's the alternative? Who's out there?
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
I would not give up Austin Reeves unless I'm getting younger or slightly the same age. We have no choice but to pay Austin Reeves because unfortunately everybody's talking about like, maybe we could trade him for Giannis. He's already showing that he's piling up injuries. He's already 31, 32, and someone who solely relies on athleticism and speed and all that, once they lose the step, you can really tell the drop off in their game. And so Austin is going to age very well because he does not rely on athleticism or speed. Um, and so he's like kind of like Luca, someone like, for example, like a Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, where these guys are just IQ and they rely on their talent. Um, I always bring this up. I always pride myself when I told Anthony Wilson that was going to happen to Blake Griffin. And once Blake
Yeah,
Griffin
good
started
call.
piling up these injuries,
Hmm.
it that that's exactly what happened. That's what's going to
Yeah,
happen to Giannis. The guy has zero offensive bag, zero.
yeah, yeah.
I would not trade. I would not trade for Giannis.
okay.
Talking about Pistons, Blake Griffin, huh? Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
He he developed a nice little a serviceable jumper towards the end a little bit,
Yeah.
but
But
too
yeah.
little, too late.
Yeah, it was like Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was somebody that it was like, how did he never develop any sort of post
Post
like
move.
remember that was the crazy thing about Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum in like 2 years, I mean, my God, that guy was like he looked like a little baby Elijah out there.
um,
Yeah,
is that all on the Lakers or anything else?
Um, okay, real quick. What is LeBron's number?
vet minimum.
Oh, come on, Mitch. Two-way contract.
I'd give him
I would, I would, I'd give him 25. I'd give him 25 because it's only going to be 1 year, and he's shown that he can still run. He can still run in the league.
I'd give
I'd give him 25.
I'd give him as high as 30 if we could work, you know. And then, I mean, I don't would he accept the mid level? That's like 15 million now. It's not really about the money for
No,
LeBron. It's just
yeah.
about.
This is why we need Shane on the show because he know how to break down the salary cap. Because the problem is can we give LeBron 25 and still pay Rui and Kennard? and Jackson Hayes and Austin. Is
Yeah,
that even possible?
I don't know. I don't think so. But again, you're right. That's why the poor little fella needs to get over his big feelings.
Right. So I okay. So transitioning, I wanted to say something about the draft lottery. The Wizards ended up getting the number one pick, followed by Utah, then the Grizzlies, then the Bulls, and then the Clippers got the fifth pick, courtesy of that trade that they where they got Matherin for Zubac from the Pacers. So and I think I'm liking where Brooklyn is slotted at number six because I think I would say my one of maybe my favorite player in the class is Darius Acuff Jr. from Arkansas. And if you look at the top five teams, they don't really have a need for a smallish like lead guard who's gonna need the ball at times. So he could actually fall to Brooklyn at number six while being a top two prospect. Uh, I'm guessing it'll be if assuming they don't there's no like trading back or anything like that. I'm thinking the Band's at number one to the Wizards, Peterson number two to Utah, uh, uh, Caleb Wilson number three to the Grizzlies, Cam Boozer number four to the Bulls. Number five, I figure the Clippers will take uh, Keaton Wagler from Illinois. And then, like I said, the young man Acuff, who I think is the top two talent in the class, he could fall to Brooklyn at six. But you have to have six or seven guys, if you count Kingston Flemings, that could who will be all stars or franchise players. Um, you guys got anything on that, or is that just gonna be like my little solo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just great for OKC. Um, didn't win. That would have. I mean, we're already screwed
Yeah.
with OKC. So
Okay. So
You
Mitch,
see, they're only paying this guy AJ Mitchell $3 million.
that's
Like,
crazy.
it's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Now, how long will they be able to do that for? You know what I mean? Like, how many? You know, even one more season is insane. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
mhm. um,
it's crazy.
Mitch. So you I was on. Okay, so the boys episode seven of the last season is gonna be on Wednesday, and the finale will be the week after that, the series finale. Um, do you have a prediction about how you think it's gonna end?
You know, whatever prediction I had, this last episode kind of blew it up. You know what I mean? Like, I was envisioning that, that Homelander was not going to get the cure, not the cure, that Homelander was not going to get his hands on the V1 so that he's, pretty much immortal. Um, and as we saw in the last episode, he got his hands on it, but because of a miscalculation by Sister Sage, like smartest woman on the planet, doesn't know how to calculate human emotion. So I don't know what the hell about to go on, man. But I am sat. I am ready. The new episode should be it should be live. I'm pretty sure they upload it like at midnight. So I might wait and and already watch this week's episode right at midnight. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Because
Um.
I'm so curious with like what's gonna happen in this even in this next episode. My mini prediction is some kind of way the Gen V kids will finally get involved in one of these next two episodes. That has to be like they have to mix in with the end game some kind of way. That's my little prediction.
Um. Galvez wanted to talk about the Devil Wears Prada. Now, again, not the sequel that just came out and is doing well at the box office and whatnot, but the original, the classic which Galvez just saw for the first time. You still haven't seen the sequel, right, Galvez?
No, so the reason I had to see it was because my wife wanted to go watch it. So I had to see the second one. Now I don't recall if I saw it when it first came out, but for sure I completely forgot about it. I had zero recollection of the movie, so I probably could have well not seen it. So uh, so Mitch, I did tell Wilson a quick plot of the movie about how it starts and about
Hmm.
the middle net, right? So now this is not a rom-com. This is a chick flick, right? Kind of like Mean Girls, Clueless, Legally Blonde, right? It's more of a woman film, right? Um, now, so in the movie, right? Would you say Nick, Anne Hathaway's boyfriend,
Played by Adrian
was
Nate,
Grenier, correct?
Nate,
yes,
Nate. Yes,
Nate, yeah.
yeah,
Would
played
you
by
say he was
Adrian Grenier. Yeah,
would you say he was supportive in her when she first got the job?
when she first got it, definitely
Hmm.
not. Definitely
Really?
not.
Well, because okay,
I
so the movie, but she's talking crap about the women the in the fashion industry. And now he may have not been the rah rah supportive guy, but the fact that he was okay with her putting in these long crazy hours and never really questioning, what are you doing? Why are you here? Like he didn't give her a hard time either,
I
right?
think he was. I think he was giving her a hard time a lot of the times. You know what I mean? I think obviously they don't show, a lot of that
Mhm.
part. It's just kind of implied with the little,
Okay.
with their little, with the interactions that we do see. Um, I think, yeah, he definitely wasn't like rah rah. I think his support was like just kind of
Well, I guess if that's
tolerating it.
if
You know
that's
what I
what you
mean?
want to
Like,
do.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like
Now,
kind of like reluctant support a little bit, but
yeah, like I guess, right?
I
Kind of
guess
support.
you got to
Okay.
start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So now the relationship takes a turn when she goes to the party and it's Nate's birthday, right? Because
Yeah,
she doesn't make it.
yeah,
Now, right now, and then also that's when that guy does the favor for her for the Harry
yeah.
Potter thing, and that's where he
Hmm.
really steps his game up. Okay, cool. All right. So now, right before she goes to Paris, right? Now,
Yep,
to Anne Hathaway's defense, she really did brush this guy off and respected the relationship, right? She
she
really
did.
did. She really did. Okay, so now before they go to Paris, they didn't officially break up because they said maybe this is the right time to take a break, right?
Right, right, right.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
so this bitch goes to Paris, right? So this bitch goes to Paris, right? Now, we don't know what happens, okay? She's brushing this guy off, but
yeah,
she lets herself get
slept
bamboozled
up.
or she slipped up. Now they don't actually show any sexual scenes because it's not that kind of movie, but it's obvious because she wakes up in her lingerie, right?
Yep,
Now, I guess the key in that scene is that she finds the magazine where it shows that they're going to do Meryl Streep dirty, right?
yep.
Now they didn't have to show her sleeping with him. She could have just went back to his house. He tried to sleep with her, and while he was, I don't know, in the bathroom getting done up, she saw the magazine, right? So they could have done other ways for her to find the magazine. Now, when they come back from Boston, right? I mean, when she comes back from Paris, she asks
Hmm.
Nate, "Hey, what did you do?" "Oh, I went to Boston to pursue my dream in being a chef. Now I'm a sushi, I don't know, whatever the fuck."
Sous chef, yeah.
what the fuck did Anne Hathaway do?
Uh, she quit.
She slept with a guy who subconsciously realized, hey, this guy can open doors for me. And I don't know how I felt about that.
Bitches ain't shit. What is there to feel about it? We all
Oh
know.
It
my
was it
goodness.
was like, and then so I asked a couple female coworkers, and I'm like, hey, that's part didn't sit well with me. And of course they defend Anne Hathaway because they said, well, he wasn't supportive. So that allows you to go sleep with another man while your boyfriend goes and chases his dream job. I mean, imagine this guy Nate, right? He's like, you know what? I want to show um Andy, that's Anne Hathaway's name in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
Andy. I'm going to show Andy she's trying to better her life. She's trying to do what her dream is. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go pursue a dream job. And what does she do in Paris? They make her come off like a slut,
Oh my goodness.
which is the which is surprising because in these chick flicks, they try to make the females look a lot more, you know, um,
Something tells me Mitch agrees with you.
stronger.
Mitch agrees with you, but he can't say it. That's why he's gonna be quiet because he can't. He's supposed to be
I
a
know.
feminist.
I was letting him. I was just waiting my turn. I was, gonna
Okay.
give my
Okay, I'll
side
let you.
because,
Okay, so I'll let you go.
yeah. I mean, listen. Uh, I feel like this is like kind of like the kind of Ross Rachel kind of debate. Like, oh, we were on a break. Um, I think I think they did break up. I do think that if Andy was a guy, you know, he would they would drag her or him if he was a guy, because the breakup happened. What you know what I mean? Like let's say because they're there for Fashion Week, so she's with somebody else. What 2 days later?
Hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of wild. You know, I don't think he was fully. I don't think Nate was fully
Now,
supportive.
for all we know, Nate could have been doing his thing over there too, right?
He could have been. He could have been. But
I wasn't in the movie,
He
so
uh,
wasn't.
that's not
we,
true.
we, we, we never, we don't know. But was he fully supportive? I don't think so. Um, but oh, shit, what was I gonna say? Um, oh, I was gonna say, I feel like he was super valid and like being upset that she missed his little birthday thing. Like I feel like,
Because in the movie,
uh,
it doesn't even show that she tried to reach out to him. She tried to reach. She
yeah,
reached out to her friend.
we
She
we
didn't reach out to
do.
him.
We have to remember that it is 2006, so maybe not everybody has a cell phone yet. Maybe Nate is still holding on and he doesn't have a cell phone yet. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's just 2006.
It's just, and the thing
We got
is,
to keep that in
and the
mind.
thing is, I'm trying to remember. Do you remember that movie pretty well? The first one,
Uh, with
well
the
enough,
was
right? The
Yeah,
first one.
no, I rewatched it before we watched the second one. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So before they go to Paris, is it not her that when he's being kind of a douche, she throws it in his face that he's just gonna waste 16 years of a relationship, but yet she goes and sleeps with the guy 2 days later,
yeah, it's got to be like 2 days later.
within a week for sure.
It's Fashion Week. Yeah,
Yeah,
and if she, yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean,
think they were gonna. Now I don't know if I'm the only guy that caught that. I don't know if you kind of like were like, damn, Anne Hathaway is a slut, is a bitch, is a hoe. I'm just surprised they made her character look like that. Like you would
I
think
mean,
she would have like really, really brushed him off and not done anything. But she gave in so easily.
well, I mean, it's that gray area again. It's the Ross Rachel, you know, you know, it's they're on a break. They are on a break, so everything is kind of fair game. So, I
Mm.
mean, I'll just say, any female that says that Ross and Rachel were not on a break, they cannot defend Anne Hathaway. Like, you gotta pick a side on that.
Now,
I feel
I
like
know that I know the characters and friends, but so who cheated on who?
so that's the thing. It's did he really cheat? You know what I mean? So basically, Ross and Rachel, they go on a break. Ross
Mhm.
has sexual
Who brings up
intercourse.
who brings up the break first? Like whose idea is it's going to break?
She does. Rachel does.
Okay.
She says, I need a break from us.
Hmm.
So this really pisses Ross off. They they're on a break. He has sexual intercourse with somebody that night. She calls him the next day. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, let's talk. Let's clear this up. Let's end this break. I don't want to break. Oh no, I don't want to break.
But it was too late. The damage was done.
Damage was done. He obviously already slept with this girl. She ends up finding out, and it's the whole conversation of, well, listen, I may have done this, but we were on a break.
Mm. And
And
so
she's like, well, you did, and she's
most
like,
of the females were shitting on Ross, I assume.
yes.
Mm.
And it's like, oh, well, you did it so soon. Well, it's a gray area. So it's like, yeah, you can't shit on Ross if you don't shit on Anne Hathaway's character.
Yeah.
It was definitely fast, but
All right, listen, that's
you
enough of
know,
this. Uh,
I was just surprised that they made her character look like that.
Gal's got male insecurities. Whatever, Gal. I mean,
I don't have male insecurities. I'm just saying, like, damn.
it is what it is, bro. It's how they are.
oh my goodness.
It is how they are. That's how they are. She had to wait until she like until
She feel
I
better
didn't
about
see
herself.
yeah, I didn't see the movie, but she had to wait until so her conscience could be clean, even though really it shouldn't
See,
be.
see, in 8 Mile,
Oh,
right?
we can't
Brittany
talk about Eight
Murphy
Mile,
clearly.
guys. We gotta go.
No, no, but Brittany Murphy clearly sleeps with the
With
what was his
Wink,
name?
what's it? Wink?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
promoter guy.
yeah.
Because it's clear that she wants to get ahead in the industry. Anne Hathaway slept with that guy because he knew the editors. So, you know,
That's what they do, Gal.
I think she more so slept with him because they have a little bit more in common. Like he's, kind of in that space.
he helped her out when she needed it.
He helped her out. Like I think oh damn, we're onto something. Hold on. We just found it. She slept with him because like he showed up in her time of like need. On the flip side, in her time of need, Nate
Oh
was like
God. What
celebrating.
a cop
Hey,
out. What a cop out. No
right?
way.
Nate was
Ah,
celebrating.
jeez.
He's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you. Finally, you quit. Like, let's
Who wrote
celebrate."
that? Who wrote that?
All right, listen.
Yeah,
We're,
we
we're,
found it right there.
I'm sorry.
Can't believe we stumbled onto that.
Listen, we're out of time. Mister, you have something you'd like to say to the old friend of ours?
Yeah, Herbert was gonna come on and he was going to throw his coat on the desk and explain why he loves the Devil Wears Prada so much. Um, but unfortunately, Shane Murray's big feelings kind of derailed us a little bit. So we ran out of time. Sorry, Herbert.
Yeah, sorry, Herbert. All right, so before we get out of here,
Hey,
just a
Galvez, did you
reminder to
know
you
that
guys
this
to
Yeah.
is
subscribe
like,
to
did
our
you know
Geeks
that,
Complete Podcast Network
so
and to
this is
follow the
this
show on
the
Twitter
movie is
and
based on a
Facebook using
book,
the Pod Network.
and
You
the
can also
book
send
is
us
actually
feedback to
based
mailbag
on
questions
Anna
to
Wintour.
Lakers Podcast
Um,
at gmail.com.
so
Mhm.
So
are
Meryl Streep's
uh,
character is based on Anna Wintour.